We had a very good conversation with the leader of the Taliban. They want to cease the violence. They'd like to cease violence also.
I believe they really want to make a deal. I think after 19, actually going very close to 20 years, they're also tired of fighting, believe it or not.
So in Afghanistan, are you afraid that once the US pulls out, that the Taliban will basically just overrun?
Well, no, you know, eventually countries have to take care of themselves. We can't be there for the next another 20 years. We've been there for 20 years.
That was the disgraced, twice impeached former president bragging about how he had such a great relationship with the Taliban. How thanks to his very particular brand of genius, they would put down their weapons and there would be peace and happiness for all. Now, of course, Republicans, along with Orange Julius Caesar, would love for us to all conveniently forget Trump's role in the withdrawal from Afghanistan and blame it all on Biden. Trump's official Renfield, complete with the fly on his head, a.k.a. Mike Pence, had the gall to write an editorial in the Wall Street Journal accusing Biden of breaking the deal with the Taliban by extending the date of the withdrawal. Zero mention at all of Trump's agreement to free 5,000 Taliban prisoners, many of whom went straight to the battlefield to fight for the enemy side, or the sanctions that he lifted on Taliban leaders. That's all pretty bad. But while we could spend hours on the GOP's hypocrisy, what's even worse is this line from Pence, quote, "Weakness arouses evil. And the magnitude of evil now rising in Afghanistan speaks volumes about the weakness of Mr. Biden," says the man who was so obsessed with what his dear leader thought of him that he literally played Simon Says, "Put your water bottle on the floor" edition. And if you want to talk about evil, there's no one who continued to blindly stand by his man as he committed evil actions like separating children from their families and calling white supremacists very fine people like Mike Pence did.
President Trump signs an order temporarily restricting entry to the U.S. from several Muslim countries.
It's the greatest privilege of my life to be vice president to a leader of such conviction, vision, and courage.
President Trump unloads, doubling down on his initial response to Charlottesville, now blaming, quote, both sides.
President Donald Trump is a man of his word, and he's a man of action.
President Trump tonight ignoring questions as outrage grows after his vulgar insult, calling African nations assholes.
I'm here because I stand with President Trump.
Under the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy, nearly 2,000 immigrant children have been separated from their parents in just the last 6 weeks.
Because of the relentless leadership of President Donald Trump. It's been a year and a half of promises made and promises kept.
So, Mike Pence, for your sanctimonious op-ed and your oblivious hypocrisy when it comes to weakness arousing evil, you are tonight's absolute worst.